Welcome back to the channel, friends. Here with another update with what's on my iPhone. I don't know, I just like to do these videos once in a while. I love watching them myself. And I thought, why not share also kind of how I use my iPhone to get hopefully the most out of it, especially productivity point of view, which apps I'm using. Of course, mostly finance related apps. So, maybe there are some that you haven't heard of that maybe you can start using for yourself to benefit from it. All right, so let's kick things off with the lock screen. I usually like to keep it very clean, minimal, and well, very simple, right? I have the time, the temperature over here. Then you see over here 2 lights on. So that's basically my Apple Home shortcut widget. I can see if I left the lights on or not. So it's really easy to control, especially since we have a dog over here. So when I'm out and about and it's a little bit later, it's getting dark, I can very easily just click on this, turn on the lights for our doggy, and yeah, just makes things easier. Then over here we have a widget to NordVPN, which is the VPN of choice that I've been using for a while now. And very quickly I can also see if the VPN is on or off. So right now I can see it's grayed out, so it's basically off. If I switch it on, I can see it's on, and yeah, I can very easily control it from there. And of course as well my step counter. So that's also really useful. And I can see with one glance how many steps I've been walking, because this year actually my goal is to walk 10,000 steps every single day for 1 year. And well, I started a little bit earlier than the beginning of the year. So it's already 91 days, as you can see. And I've been walking over 10,000 steps. So yeah, let's see how it goes, but it keeps it really front and center. And that's really all there's to it. With this, we jump into the first screen that I have. I only really have 2 screens. I used to have way more in the past, but I really try to remove a lot of the apps and have them in the app library, right? But really just to kind of focus on the most important thing. So top left, you can see over here, that's my task manager of choice, which is called Things 3. Unfortunately, it's only available on Apple devices. So on Android, I think there are other things like TickTick. It's probably similar. So there are some great free task managers out there. And in the past, I used to use Notion actually. And I really love Notion, especially for YouTube related things. I really love it. But just to track simple tasks, it really got a little bit too complex and overwhelming. And here I really have a widget. It tracks everything. I have my own categories in there. So I really recommend Things 3. It's a paid app, but really it's very simple, very straightforward. I absolutely love it. Then at the top right over here, you see my Delta tracker. So if I click into this over here, basically that's my portfolio tracker of choice. Here I track all my various holdings that I have. I can, with one click of a button, basically go in here and see my Interactive Brokers account, my Trading 212 account, eToro account, and then also one all portfolio button, which is really cool. You can see how it's been developing, what I'm buying. So this is really, really useful. I tried other ones in the past, but always had some synchronization issues or whatever. Here it really works like a clockwork. Whenever I buy something, next day it's automatically updated and I can see the overall portfolio, how it's developing. So I really like it. Plus, of course, also some really cool insights over here in general, how the markets are doing. So I really, really enjoy the app. And yeah, having it front and center, you can customize what it shows to you. So of course, I want to see the price of Bitcoin because I'm not tracking my Bitcoin holdings in the portfolio over here. That's in a separate app. But basically, I can see the price movements plus some other coins or stocks that I'm tracking and keeping an eye on. Then we move to the calendar part over here. And that's actually the Notion calendar. So I really like Notion calendar. It just makes things much easier to use. I really preferred actually to Google Calendar. At the back end, I use Google Calendar, but it's linked to my Notion. And I really just find it easier to use. I can have a 2-day view. It's very easy to add. I can even, as you can see, link it to my task. For example, you see over here, Strive accounting. That's basically linked to my subscription tracker that I'm using inside of Notion. And you'll find a link to the free tool that I'm using. You can use it for yourself in the description down below. So basically, I can see easily what charges are coming up on my credit card. So in case I want to cancel something, I can just go ahead and cancel it before I'm being charged. So it's very easy, very straightforward. And yeah, I just like the interface, really, really clean, very nice. And then I made this actually a smart widget. So with one swipe, I can go into all my various batteries because that's important, right? Because batteries on Apple devices are notoriously not the best. So you really want to keep an eye on how things are charged. I have my watch, I have my AirPods, so I can very easily flip between the two. Next up, let's move to some of the apps that I'm using. First one being Pocket Cast. It's really my favorite podcast player of choice. I've been using it for a number of years. I mean, there are many different podcast players you can use, but obviously I started with them and now have all my podcasts in there. So it will be probably quite tough for me to change to another one. But yeah, definitely really enjoyed it. You can see quite a number of podcasts over here. And I really go by theme, For me, it's really interesting. For example, you see at the bottom quite a few marathon related podcasts, which only recently I got into running really seriously. So when I'm running, I'm listening to that. So it's really specific. Or when I was really trying to learn more about digital marketing, I really went deep into some of those. Then at the top, you see some that I usually listen to on a regular basis. Then of course, YouTube, how else could it be being on YouTube myself? And I'm on the premium plan. So that means I don't see any ads. And the cool thing is I can even listen to a video while I'm running. I can close the phone and it will still play. If you're on the free plan, that wouldn't be possible, at least not on Apple devices. So that alone for me is really worth it. And in Dubai is actually really little. I think I pay like $8, $9 or something. So yeah, really, really attractive. Then we move to photos, pretty self-explanatory. I guess we all have it. And in my eyes, it really keeps on getting better, the app, so I really love it. Most of my files are in the cloud. I keep very little on the phone because they just take up so much space. I think I have now 1.1 terabyte of photos and videos. So yeah, it's a lot to handle for sure. Then settings is clear. Then we move to my Smart Money Club. That's my online community I've been running now for almost a year. And just recently, I actually made a change to it and offered a free membership as well. So if you're interested to join, find the link down in the description below, sign up, join us inside. Really, really cool place to hang out. There's still, of course, a premium part if you wanted to upgrade later on to have some live codes and other things, but you can definitely get a lot of value out of the free plan. We have different spaces over here where you can participate. Later on, I'm going to be adding courses there as well. We have also gamification, some leaderboard as well there. You can see the members, events. So I think it's really, really cool. I think you're going to get some really nice value out of this. And I'm really happy that's also available as an app on the phone on the go, so you can answer your comments or read what's happening. Of course, we also have a beautiful web interface, so definitely check it out, and I hope to see you guys on the inside. Next up, we have, of course, YouTube Studio, an app where I track all my YouTube analytics to see the views, the revenue, and all these things. So yeah, an app I probably should be checking less, but I guess it's part of the nature, right? You want to see how the channel grows and so forth. So yeah, definitely enjoy looking at that multiple times a day, let's say. Then Gmail app, pretty self-explanatory. Definitely my favorite way to answer mail. And now if you're on the paid plan of any of the Gmail accounts, not on the free plan, but on the business accounts, you also get access to Gemini, where they basically use AI to reply to your email. So that makes things so much easier. Previously, I had to copy paste into ChatGPT and then get the answer and so forth. So now much easier, much more straightforward. I really enjoy it. Then, of course, Instagram, again, an app that's pretty self-explanatory. I kind of, get on and off excited about it. I'm definitely more a long-form type of guy. I like long-form YouTube videos and so on, but I do understand it's important to also be active over there. Then over here, we have some of my social medias. I try to hide them away, so I don't use them too much. For example, TikTok, right? If I hide it over here, it's just one extra click, but that way I definitely reduce my screen time using TikTok. I use it way more, so that extra click definitely reduces. So that's a little tip. If you're using one app too much, put it away a little bit somewhere else in a hidden folder or second page. So naturally, you're going to be using it a little bit less. And then, of course, some of the other socials that I kind of use from time to time. WhatsApp, for example, everything runs through WhatsApp in Dubai. That's really, really important one. I mean, I talk to my bank through WhatsApp, which is crazy. But yeah, actually makes things much, much faster. Then, of course, ChatGPT, that's definitely another one of my most used app on the phone for sure. And what I really like over here, you can see the microphone. And, whenever I kind of press this, that's probably the way I mostly communicate with it, because now I can just talk to it without it interrupting me. I also like the voice feature where I can talk to it in real time. But this way, I just talk all my thoughts, sometimes 3-4 minutes, and ask it and give it context and so on. And when I'm done, I just hit the check mark over here. It will basically analyze it a few seconds. It basically transcribes everything. I click send it off, and then we'll start analyzing and giving me the answer. And honestly, that's probably the best way to communicate with AI, because it's much faster than typing. It's much more intuitive than having this conversation, because sometimes when he answers, I have another thought, then I interrupt it, and it just kind of goes nowhere. So I find that really the easiest way to communicate with it. Then, of course, my browser of choice is Arc browser. I used to use Safari before, but now I'm really all in on Arc, and I really love it. Really user-friendly, easy to use, free of charge, of course. Spotify, pretty self-explanatory. I guess an app most of us will have. And then we go to the next page. Here I have my Notion. Notion, I use it mostly, as I said, for my subscriptions, as well as YouTube. I track all my ideas, research for it, and so forth. So it really makes things easier. Then, of course, once again, I have Delta over here. So you can see you can have different widgets on Delta. This widget shows me a specific portfolio. Unfortunately, right now you cannot select all portfolios. I have to choose one of the portfolios, but definitely still cool to see, the swings on a daily basis. Just kind of have it front and center to see what's happening with the portfolio. Then Sonos, I use it for the speakers in the house, of course. Alarm clock, once again, pretty self-explanatory. 1Password, my password manager of choice, which I've been using for a number of years now. Absolutely love it, and really, really user-friendly to make sure I stay safe online. Notes is an app I keep on coming back to because, yes, while Notion is great in general for that, I just found Notes a bit more intuitive because, once again, sometimes I just speak to my phone, the note, and it records it. Another cool thing, I recently started recording some calls, important calls and so on with Apple. You can now record any conversation in real time. It will give a note to the other person listening that they're being recorded. So it's not a sneaky way of that. But yeah, I can really do that. For example, now when I call my grandparents, I actually record those conversations because honestly, they're over 90 years old. I mean, God forbid something happens. Hopefully they live many, many years. But then it would be so nice, 10, 20 years to still hear their voice. So yeah, I kind of do this on a regular basis, and they're actually living inside my notes over here. Then App Store, Then of course Google Analytics. Here I'm tracking various analytics and websites that I have to see what's happening across my various websites and traffic sources that I have. Strava, basically the Instagram for any serious sport person to track all your runs and metrics, and I really enjoy it. Really cool, especially if you run a lot. It really measures a lot of things, especially if you use different tools like watches and so on. It all kind of aggregates inside of Strava. Privily, it's an amazing app if you live in the UAE. Really cool. It gives you access to so many cool places that you can use basically free of charge. Well, you pay a monthly or yearly membership, but then you have access to some of the coolest places, coolest beaches. It's not super cheap, right? It's around almost 200 euros a month, let's say, but then you get access to beaches, to cool gyms, and I really use it quite a lot actually, and definitely recommend it if you're in the UAE for longer. Definitely check it out. Then of course Revolut, I made a number of videos around this. One of my favorite finance apps, really cool. Definitely if it's available in your country, I think it's one of the nicest finance related apps to use on a daily basis, track your spending, to do your spending, various cards, benefits. I use it for airport lounge access. I'm on the ultra plan, the highest level. Definitely a lot of perks I get from it. For example, NordVPN access, I got it through Revolut Ultra. Then we move to some of my stockbrokers that I use. Lightyear, amazing app, mostly focused for Europeans, but really cool, nice, slick experience. Probably the easiest app to navigate. If you're starting off your investment journey, then definitely I can recommend Lightyear for anyone in Europe or UK. Trading 212, another amazing app, buying stocks and ETFs, completely commission free. Absolutely love it, really cool. Nexo, definitely hands down my favorite crypto exchange of choice, and one of the reasons why. You can see how much I earned in savings so far, almost $2,700 just by keeping my crypto over here and receiving interest. So really nice, absolutely love the app. Then Wio Bank, I use it for my personal and business account. Hands down the best and easiest to use digital bank in the UAE because they're notoriously difficult, I would say. So once I started using Wio, I absolutely loved it. Probably the closest thing to Revolut in the UAE. Then of course eToro, another one of my favorite brokers that I've recently added to my portfolio and really happy with them. And lastly, Eufy Live, that's actually connected to my smart scale. Every morning and evening I track myself and I can see my vitals over here. So for me, that's very important. I'm really believing in tracking your health metrics over time. And that's it, only 2 screens. Then of course we have the app library, and I'm sure I haven't talked about all of them, but to be honest, those apps I haven't shown you, I don't usually use them on the phone. Or what I would usually do, just go on the home screen, pull down the screen, and then type what I'm looking for example, Seeking Alpha, not an app I use every single day, multiple times, but when I do, I basically search for it, I open it up, and I have it right there. So yeah, I just like to declutter a little bit because if you have too many apps, you end up using half of them, right? So that's why I think it's easier to keep them all nicely tucked away in the app library over here. But of course I have apps also here like in the active brokers, right? Which I mostly use on the web. But then when I need to log in, I get a pop-up over here to confirm with my face that I indeed want to log in, and that's it. So I don't use it on a daily basis. Same with my hardware wallets. I use Ledger Live as well as Tangem app, and I also have them here. But again, I don't have them on a daily basis. Plus, of course, one cool thing is in case the app that you're using does not have face lock, a little hack, you can click on it over here and then click on require Face ID. So that way you make sure you lock your phone. So even if somebody takes your phone when it's unlocked, they cannot access really sensitive information on your phone. Then actually one thing I forgot to mention, if I swipe to the left over here, I have some quick access widgets that I use quite a bit. First one is the air quality measurement in Dubai, because that's really important for me. If it's really bad, which sometimes it can be, then I don't go outside for a run. Then over here, I have another cool app, actually, I forgot to mention, that's Athletics, really good. I definitely recommend you check it out. If you're in the Apple ecosystem, it connects with Apple Health and pulls out all the relevant information, but presents it in a much nicer way, much better to understand way. I really love it. And yeah, really definitely very insightful. You get way more insights out of this than you would get through the regular Apple Health experience. So definitely check it out. Yeah, as you can see over here, it's called Athletic. Then also we have my coffee tracker over here. So every time I drink a coffee, I click the button and it's being added to my coffee consumptions. I can really see how much caffeine I have in my blood. And it really helped me to reduce my overall coffee intake. I used to drink up to 6 coffees a day. Now I drink around 3. And then after, 2-3 o'clock, I go to decaffeinated coffees and really worked wonders. And I don't know if it made me a better human or what, but I really like it and I feel better about it. So I think it's really good. Then of course, once again, I've shown you before the step tracker over here, front and center. That's also cool. The Philips Hue app has different lighting scenes I set up across the house. So you can really, with one click of a button, change the whole setup. From YouTube, when I'm filming, it turns on all these lights automatically. If I want to relax in the evening, it turns on all the cozy lights. So really nice and very easy to use. Then once again, over here, I can see my stress level through Athletic, another widget. They have quite a few widgets actually. Then those 2 widgets are from Apple Health also here. And lastly, the weather, of course. And let me also quickly show you my notification center over here. So that's the current setup. One thing I actually didn't mention at the beginning, I always use now focus mode. So if I click into this over here, you can see right now I'm on YouTube. So basically it means everything is muted. I won't get any calls, any notification, because right now I'm really filming and want to deliver value for you guys. But mostly I'm on the do not disturb mode. That's my default mode. And that also switches off pretty much everything. A couple of apps can notify me, but most of them can't, and only a few people can call me. Otherwise it's silent. So that really was such a game changer, because previously I used to get so many notifications. I don't care if somebody liked my picture or not, right? I don't want to be notified. If I check it, right, I will see it, but I don't want to be interrupted by that. So mostly I'm on do not disturb. At night, I always go to sleep mode, and that's also really cool. And that's a little hack over here. If I press the action button, it will pop up a couple of quick actions that I usually do, either ChatGPT or go to sleep mode, and then it switches off all the lights in the house and turns on sleep mode. So it starts sleep tracking. If I go to gym, it puts on my Spotify playlist and starts my gym mode to track my workouts. Shopping list, that adds anything quickly to my Things 3 shopping list. And of course, Princess calling my wife on the phone if I needed to very quickly. And yeah, the rest is pretty self-explanatory. Once again, I can see over here what lights in my Apple Home are on. And lastly, a couple of shortcuts over here. There you have it. This is how I'm using my phone on a daily basis, which really helps me to stay more productive, get less distracted from all those notifications. On my watch, actually, I have 0 notification, literally nothing. It only shows the time. I switched off everything because I really became more and more mindful of being distracted constantly. And I really found myself less and less able to really focus and do deep work. And I wanted to overcome that because it's important to do deep work. So yeah, switching all those notifications off, really minimizing the apps that I have on my phone, or at least visible on my home screen, really helped me to do that. Am I perfect with that? No, there's still a long way to go to improve. Probably would be smart to delete some of those social media apps. You know, we're all human at the end of the day, but I'm interested to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. What is your favorite app that you're using on a daily basis, or something that I should definitely be checking out? Next up, check out this video over here, and don't forget to check out the Smart Money Club. Can't wait to see you on the inside. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.